Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we're doing over here, baby. Let's go. As I said earlier this morning, ladies and gentlemen, a world with no consequences, where people experience no consequences for their actions, is a terrible world. Gateway pundit, Abraham Lincoln hanged traitors. He would not have messed around with today's seditious Democrats who called on the U.S. military to rise against the President of the United States. You know, when you really think about the approach that the Democratic Party has taken, their tactic is to push things to the limit. They push it to the limit. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Standing on a razor's edge. Don't look down. That's where they're at. They're pushing it to the limit. They're testing the limits of what Donald Trump will do and won't do. And I can understand why they're doing it. I mean, somebody shot you in the face and you ain't did nothing that we know of. Matter of fact, somebody shot you in the face, and the Secret Service director who was over your protection in Butler, Pennsylvania, who should have been fired, is now the head of the Secret Service. I can understand why they would take this approach. I truly can. They're convinced that he won't do anything. They're convinced he won't do anything. Or they're convinced that there's people in place that won't allow him to do anything. Maybe he has tried to do something. Maybe there are just people in place who won't allow him to deal with this matter. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The truth of the matter is, and the issue boils down to this one simple fact, ladies and gentlemen, something has to be done to put these people straight. Now, does he have the balls to do it? I don't know. I can't tell you if he does. But let's take a listen to what they were all saying.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military,
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army.
Our Navy.
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
Our Constitution.
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
You know, the craziest thing about this little video that they did was that they said, don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. And we know that America truly is based on maritime law. I don't really get into the depths of maritime law and how there's been a layer of law that has been laid on top of the actual real law that we should abide by in America, based upon the Black's Law Dictionary changing words and changing verbiage, because I feel like that's getting too much in the muck into the mire for people. But I will say this. If something's not done about these people, if an example's not made, and you notice they were from each branch, intelligence agency operatives, and in many ways it seems as if it was an appeal to try and boost morale because they're getting their butts whooped. But in my opinion, there's no better way to send a message to everyone that they were talking to than to arrest every last damn one of them. Arrest every last one of them right now. Remember earlier today, I told you I would be the black bag president. They would call me President Black Bag because I would black bag all these people. Consistently, people would be catching black bags. Obama did it. He blackbagged and murdered journalists. He did all kind of stuff. But I get it. I understand why Donald Trump does things the way he does them, because you know what? You have to let your enemies destroy themselves. They have to keep getting emboldened and emboldened and emboldened to the point to where when you do move, nobody can complain about you moving. Nobody can cry and whine about you moving against them. I get it. I absolutely get it. And so Donald starts off by responding by a tweet on Truth Social. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set, President Donald J. Trump. Then he comes again. This is really bad and dangerous for our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up, President Donald J. Trump. The final tweet. Seditious behavior punishable by death. Part of me believes that he knows this and he knows it should be done, but it can't be done because he doesn't have enough control to get it done. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Like, he knows these people should be punished. He knows they should be hung, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have the ability to get it done. And there's no excuse for it because, quite frankly, it would be his fault because he hasn't fired anybody. I'm just going to keep it real with you. He hasn't fired one person. Who is this? Okay, I know who that is. He just wandering. It's his fault because he hasn't fired anybody. Maybe you'll do something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Stephen Miller comes out and he addresses it. And this is a unique opportunity for the Trump administration to actually give people a scalp. This is a unique opportunity for them to feed Audrey too. Remember I told you, feed me Seymour, feed me all night long. He still ain't fed Audrey too, ladies and gentlemen. And therein lies the problem. He has an opportunity to feed Audrey. I don't know that he's going to do it or not. I can't speak for whether he will or not.
It is insurrection, plainly, directly, without question. And when you have one of the lawmakers on that video being unable to state in, as you say, lengthy cross-examination, a single so-called illegal order, it just proves the point. It's a general call for rebellion from the CIA and the armed services of the United States by Democrat lawmakers, saying that you have not only the right but the duty and the obligation to defy orders of the commander-in-chief, that those who carry weapons in America's name should defy their chain of command and engage in open acts of insurrection, that the CIA, the clandestine service, which isn't even legally authorized to operate in the United States, should engage in, again, acts of rebellion and insurrection. These lawmakers should honestly resign in disgrace and never return to public office again for even daring to think, let alone to say these words and to say them proudly. But it shows what a dangerous moment we're in.
You know, I've been in situations like this where you deal with people that we call it keeping the block hot. I'm just going to keep it real with you. And the strategy is this. You say, you do wild, crazy things because you feel like there's going to be cover for you saying and doing those wild, crazy things because there's no consequence for your actions for doing those wild, crazy things. And you continue to do it because your objective and your goal is to simply make the other person look weak. So you start on Monday, you say something crazy. Tuesday, you say something crazy. Wednesday, you say something crazy. They respond, you double down. They respond again, you double down again. They respond, you double down again. They respond, you double down again. What you're doing is you're trying to push things to a point of conflict, but you know that that person has too much to lose, or you know you have them in a situation where if they make a misstep, then you turn around and you play victim. You turn around and you cry and you whine and you play victim. It's a wicked strategy that they're using. It truly is a wicked strategy that they're using right now. And we're witnessing something extremely wicked play out. But black bags is what they need. They don't need to resign. They need black bags. An example needs to be made of these people.
We have seen the Democratic Party nurse the flames of violence and insurrection against the federal government for the last 10 months. When you see this continuous campaign of violence against ICE officers and Border Patrol agents, when you see Democrat sanctuary politicians and Democrat sanctuary governors side with the rioters, side with the assaulters over federal law enforcement, and that spills even into juries and grand juries, when you see Democrat jurors engage in nullification to let off violent attackers who are engaging in physical violence, physical assault against federal officers. This is a dangerous moment. You have a political party, an organization, the Democrat Party, and their message is that any action, no matter how unlawful, no matter how dangerous, no matter how much it threatens constitutional order, is justified if it keeps Democrat policies in effect at any cost.
You know, the worst part about it is Stephen's right. It's not an issue of right or wrong. It's an issue of something's going to be done about it. It's an issue of something's going to be done. And you know, the craziest part about it is at this point in time, this plan has to be known. I popped over to Alex Jones to see what Alex was talking about. And of course, he's hitting the exact same point I'm hitting at the exact same moment.
I think they're very seriously broke the law. They did. I think Pete Hegseth is looking into it. I know they're looking into it militarily. I don't know for a fact, but I think the military is looking into it in the military courts. Now, let's stop right there. They didn't just put out this video. They've been hyping it on channels for months. And it's key intel, former officers under Brennan and Obama. It's that Stay Behind Network group doing this. And they staged all these other coup operations that failed before. Crossfire Hurricane, Arctic Frost. You know, I've been a main target. I mean, I'm in the middle of it. I'm not just a researcher. I've been a victim. And we've overcome it thanks to your support. But this is their plan. And that's what I've said. The Podesta plan that was adopted by the Democrats is a declaration of tyranny, a declaration of sedition, a declaration of treason. That alone, I mean, I guarantee if I was powerful and I was a party leader and I came up with something as that as a Republican, I'd be under the president to overthrow an elected government. And that's what the CIA does in other countries, and there's elements of it that help formulate all this and are still operating in the shadows. Trump is far from in control of the CIA. No major reforms there. Nobody got fired. And so imagine, this is where we are in November 2025, the president talking about this. And it's because they are planning false flags, mass uprisings, you name it. That's in the Podesta plan. Blue states seceding, starting with the West Coast, calling it the West Coast Alliance. In the plan, in the Civil War movie, $350 million budget. And then now with Podesta on Colbert 2 months ago, saying we're the Western Alliance, we're about to go on the offense. First is the sanctuary cities and not following any federal directives that are constitutional. And that's how it starts, but that's the plan. First, alliances in sanctuary cities and on other issues. And then once those are formed as alliances governmentally, you don't say, hey, we're a military force first. You say, oh, it's just an economic and sanctuary city, and we don't follow federal judges. We don't follow federal orders. We don't follow constitutional things. That is the secession. But you sneak it in under the radar, and then you have the big uprising, then you have the big event, then Trump sends out the military, which I'll tell you point blank, without the local law enforcement and a lot of pockets of good people, the U.S. military is anemic to deal with all the blue cities and all the collapse that'll happen and the burning and the arson and the insanity. So the U.S. military is not some magic fix-it-all. There's 3 times more police than our military. And that's why they defunded them, put leftists in the big cities. But there's still a lot of good instincts in law enforcement. So This is a real crisis. Now, the Democrats had planned to start fights with patriots, demonize groups, pick groups that were weird, exaggerate that they were bad, like the Davidians or Randy Weaver, and get the military and public used to attacking citizens. Then they announced gun confiscation, like happened in Canada, everywhere else. Then they believed there would be some resistance by states. Then the Democrats would come in with the feds and take over those states that didn't comply. And if the governor stood up and told the state police and citizens to stand against it, the Delta Force, this has been declassified, partially, but I learned about it first, we broke it first, would then be deployed to literally take out the governors. And that's when we got the intel, because the military is like, this is treason. The military knew that was a bad executive branch, megalomaniacally wanting to have a takeover, and so we exposed it. General Parton exposed it, Ted Gunderson exposed it, I exposed it, Randy Weaver exposed it, countless patriots exposed it. And then at first you didn't really see it in the news, then later all the newscasts, local police, yeah, we're trying to take the guns and fight the constitutional terrorists. A civil war is coming and we're going to round up all the evil white people. But it was fantasy land in the 90s, even try that, but they were trying it. So that's an unlawful order. That's treason. That's an evil presidency under globalist control. This is the opposite. So because they don't control the executive, though they got moles in there, now they're going to go to the blue states and blue cities in the Podesta plan as the trigger for it. Then when Trump calls out the military rightly, they hope enough people in bureaucracy, period, rise up and resist, believing they're fighting Hitler, pre-programmed by all these movies, like One Battle After the Next, Civil War, and others. And I'll keep repeating it because they didn't do all this for no reason, okay? And now exactly how I said it would unfold is unfolding because I have their battle plan. I have their war games. I have their playbook. I have their blueprints. I have their program. I have their operations. It ain't hard. People are like, how did Jones know we'd have 6 feet separation and close down the ball games and churches? And
I'm going to stop Alex because he's about to spaz. And I'm going to say this. Donald Trump does not realize that he has a mandate from God to deal with these people. And if you were just to zoom out, in the words of my man Blue, from who had the dog man encounter in Fort Pierce, Florida, if you zoom out, by the way, there are real creatures that exist, but nonetheless, that's a sidebar thing. If you were to zoom out all the way out of it, and don't think from a natural man's perspective, why did God allow him to be shot in the ear as opposed to the arm, the shoulder, the chest? Why was it just the bullet graze your head? Why is it that he just let the enemy draw your blood? Mr. President, why did he let the enemy draw your blood? Why was your blood drawn? Your blood let? And see, herein lies the problem with President Donald Trump. He's a phenomenal businessman. Really is. But he's missing the mark in understanding that he is the judgment against these people. You yourself are the judgment, and you're not doing it. Well, James, the Bible says, judge not, lest ye shall be judged. But it also says, know it's not that ye shall judge angels, how much more the things of this earth. And that's in Revelations. That's a little bit later on in the book. No, it's not that you shall judge angels. That means me and you as Christians shall judge angels. How much more the things of this earth. So if you can judge angels, how much more shall you judge the things of this earth? That's one of the problems that the Christian faith has, is that everybody's like, oh, I'm not judging anyone. You shouldn't judge. No, you should. You should. Oh, I've released judgments on certain people for things that they've done, but I have an understanding of the authority that I have in Jesus Christ. Oh, if I was president, the heads would have been bust. Black bags would have been given. Day one, walk in the office, give me a list. I need to set an example. Well, who? Blah, blah. Give me a list. Well, give me a list. It's time for us to usher them out. Usher them out. We're going to usher them out. We're going to usher them out. Take the microphone and usher them out. No. Take that office. Usher them out. Take that badge. Usher them out. They would have been like, no, this dude is crazy. Like, this dude is retarded. Then you drew my blood too? You made me bleed? You made my wife sit there and panic? You made my children watch me fall to the ground and blood gushing? Usher them out. Usher them out. The question is, what are they going to do? And I know Alex done told them. I know they know now. The question is, what are you going to do? What you going to do about it? This is a very pivotal moment right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pivotal moment for the United States of America. This is the moment. We in that moment. Either we going up or we going down from here. Don't be distracted by Islam right now. Don't worry about none of that. This is the moment. This is the moment.
And lock us in and do virtual commuting. It's in Operation Lockstep 2011 and a bunch of other documents that they would do it. I mean, but they never show the full breakdown. They'll show a 30-second clip of me just saying they'll do this, and that. They go, he's psychic. He's incredible. How'd he do it? And then the clip where I explain it all gets 300,000 views. The clip where it just comes out of context gets 50 million views. And the people putting them out do that on purpose because if it sounds like Nostradamus, it's hotter. People don't want to actually be shown why, on average, why it is. They just want to be told, and then when they see it come true, they go, how the hell does this guy know? He's either psychic or he's with the bad guys. If I'm with the bad guys, why the hell would I be exposing their plan and sabotaging it? But it's not about me. You're now living the plan. What are you going to do about it? And I try to be an optimist. You heard me in the last few months. I said, they tried to launch this. It failed. Now they'll try to do economic collapse. That's not working. I said, they'll maybe go back to this. They had a lot of other nasty stuff, power outages, cyber attacks, blame it on the Russians.
I want y'all to, I love y'all. So I'm going to show y'all some things. I'm going to show you some things. And you'll know this about me. There's times when God is speaking to a man when he's talking and he'll hesitate. And that's him getting a real-time download. Then there's times where a man is telling you something with his body language, with his eyes, with his mouth. He's telling you something. And I don't like what I just saw Alex tell me. Go back. Here it is. Let's go slowly through it.
He's incredible. How'd he do it?
There's God talking.
And then the clip where I explain it all gets 300,000 views. The clip where it just comes out of context gets 50 million views. And the people putting them out do that on purpose because if it sounds like Nostradamus, it's hotter. People don't want to actually be shown why, on average, why it is. They just want to be told, and then when they see it come true, they go, how the hell does this guy know? He's either psychic or he's with the bad guys. If I'm with the bad guys, why the hell would I be exposing their plan and sabotaging it? But it's not about me. You're now living the plan. What are you going to do about it?
Here it comes. Bam! There it is. There's the moment where he's saying, oh my God. These people want to kill me. They want to destroy my family. These people want to murder me. And the Trump administration and everybody else is acting like they are full retards. They are full that's a look right there. I know these people. I've given these people this information. They're full retarded. They're farting in bathtubs while it's happening around. They're farting in bathtubs. We gonna keep playing it slow so you can see. Watch this. That look is, oh my God. This is so simple. arrest them, deal with them, or they're going to kill us all. And the frustration is they ain't doing it.
And I try to be an optimist. You heard me in the last few months.
See, and I try and be an optimist. I try to be optimistic about it. I'm telling you. You know, if you really pay attention to what people say, you can glean a lot of from it. Because a man don't have to say everything. He don't have to tell you everything. He's saying it.
I said, they tried to launch this. It failed. Now they'll try to economic collapse. That's not working. I said, they'll maybe go back to this. They got a lot of their nasty stuff, power outages, cyber attacks, blame it on the Russians. Here's what you need to know. The deep state ain't giving up. And they've launched their counter-revolution against us. They've launched their counter-offensive against us. And so you know you're in a war. And 90% of it's informational. It's about the battle space of the mind. And I'm going to say it again. You're getting the intel. This is it.
I'm going to stop it right there and let you go and listen to the rest of that yourself. I'm going to let you listen to the rest of it yourself. I'm not going to steal from somebody like Alex Jones, even though he'll say, no, it's okay for you to use my show and use the information. We don't need any more information. What has to happen at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, and I've been not wanting to step into this arena in this manner, is, you see, there's these gaps. How do I say this? That's dishonorable to say that. Even though it wouldn't be said in dishonor, someone would take it and make it dishonorable. What has to happen is the White House phone line needs to blow up with calls about the Podesta plan. Ring, hey, we're calling to make sure that you guys are aware of the Podesta plan and what Podesta is planning to do. Alex Jones was talking about today. We were encouraged the president to go look at Alex Jones. Ring, hey, we're calling to see if you guys saw about the Podesta plan. And are you aware of what Podesta's done? Are you guys paying attention to what Alex Jones says? Ring, hey, have you, and blow the freaking phone lines up to the point to where it's like, why are we getting all these phone calls? Well, what's all these phone calls? They're about this Podesta plan. What's the Podesta plan? You can't give them an excuse not to act on it. You can't allow the president's attention to be moved away because he gets consumed with his own consumption. Have you noticed that the next thing that's coming up to consume him with his own consumption is we're going back to Zelensky and Russia saying, well, we turned down the agreement with Donald Trump to do a peace treaty in the Ukraine. You notice that? Have you noticed that's coming back? Don't believe me? Hold on. Let me pause. Don't believe me? Just watch. Here it is. Ukraine's representative at the United Nations has rejected the Trump peace plan. Here's the summary. We will make no concessions and nothing is up for negotiation. We need your money. The only way this ends is if you give us money and we'll win.
Ukraine has officially received from the American side a draft plan. We outlined the fundamental principles that matter to our people. We agree to work on the plan's provisions in a way that would bring about a just end of the war. In this context, allow me to make several critical points. First, while Ukraine stands ready to engage in meaningful negotiations to end this war, including at the leaders' level, our red lines are clear and unwavering. There will never be any recognition, formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine will not accept any limits on its right to self-defense or on the size and capabilities of our armed forces. Nor will we tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe. And let me Be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Reinforcing Ukraine's defense capabilities is not an escalation. It is the only path to compelling Russia to engage constructively in international peace efforts. In this regard, we express profound gratitude to all partners and allies. This support is an investment in the rules.
That's enough of that crap. That's enough of that crap. So basically, nope, we're not going to make no concessions of land. We're not going to do any of this. We're going to stay at war. So you keep giving us money so we can keep fighting the war. Do you understand what I'm saying about getting consumed with his own consumption? Like all the wars that popped off, I'm making peace with this person, making peace with that person, and the deep state is still there. Deep state is still there. Still plotting to destroy him and his family and kill you and kill me. And I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real deal. I fully anticipate if this don't work, oh no, every conservative YouTuber is going to prison. Anybody who supported Donald Trump is probably going to end up going to prison because their plan was to round up all of his supporters. I mean, it was a part of the Podesta plan. Go read the plan. I read the plan. So Donald need to get his shit together. And in my opinion, quite frankly, I would appreciate it if you don't respond with a tweet. I would appreciate it even more if you wouldn't have said anything and would have black bagged some people. I would have black bagged them. All of them would have got black bagged. It would have been nasty. I would have ushered him out. I'd have took the microphone and ushered him out. Take his microphone, usher him out, usher him out, usher him out. Am I right? Am I right? No, let me go full Geno Jennings. Am I right? That's all I can say, man. I'm out of here.